is it could become a crisis. I mean,
But to me, that's an easy fix. I mean, honestly,
well, why don't we fix that now when we have the crisis in front of us, which is we have to have 4 people here in order to do business. We could repeal that charter ordinance or change it, massage it, make it better through a discussion at a regular council meeting and some sort of vote on that. We can do that now.
Well, I think it's the difference between triage and surgery. And, you know, I don't know that, certainly not this evening while we're sitting here, are we, I don't think everybody is prepared to hash out a new charter ordinance. And
Well, true.
And honestly, if by the first meeting in May, we get a new council member set, then if we take a more deliberative approach over the course of the summer, we should have something actionable by, you know, August or September, and we'll be ready to make the change, and hopefully nothing will happen between now and then where we're impacted again.
And see, I guess that's the benchmark of leadership is, you know, you got to plan for the worst. Anybody can plan for the best, and the worst is that if we don't have 4 people in place before the appointment, then we can't do business. And we've identified the problem. You know, you have improved the process, you know, to a level that's more fair than the previous administration. But let's face it, you still have a governing body, you know, only 2 members of a governing body meeting with you to discuss who is brought forward for that appointment, when really the council, these are the council chambers, these are council meetings that we are involved in, and council sets policy. So I think, I'm not saying that, you know, it's not as though I'm advocating that the vice president of the council make the decision on who to appoint, nor the president, but I also don't think that the mayor by himself should bring that person forward only for my rubber stamp. Because as we know from what you've already described in that statute, all you have to do is wait us out. And all we have to do is slander someone in a council meeting and say he's not fit or he's not qualified, and we've got a whole new crisis to manage.
Well, we'll never get another appointment again, at least not in the short term.
What do you mean? I don't understand.
Yeah, well, no, if you slander somebody, or if you kick dirt on
right.
somebody, how are you going to get the next appointee to come forward and actually put their name forward?
So why wait?
But yeah, I can tell you, sitting here at, you know, 8:52 on a Monday night, that I will not, if I bring a appointee forward at this time, it will be for a straight up or down vote, and if they're voted down, then we will move forward and identify a different candidate. I pledge that and promise that
right.
to you and everybody on the governing body as we sit here this evening.
And as we know, I mean, laws are in place so that ethical people, and not for ethical people like you, but for those who may try to seek some unfair advantage. And I think that's why we have to change that infrastructure now, so that in the event that, you know, we're not just legislating for you or for this appointment. We're legislating for years into the future what is fair. And if you look at the charter ordinances that were signed in conjunction with Charter Ordinance 19, just as a little bit of history, the first charter ordinance was signed in 1962. There were 17 charter ordinances signed from 1962 to 1992. So that means one every 2 years was signed. In 2002, there were 5 charter ordinances that were signed all on the same day, and they, for better or for worse, gave the mayor and more power and limited the oversight, by staff and by the council. So I think, charter ordinances are in place because they do give an unfair advantage to one person. And again, we've made decisions as a group on city administrators, on lots of things where we have found a way to coalesce opinion, sometimes just by, as I recall in the prior city administrator search, just by ranking the top 3 candidates and then saying the one with the most votes, you know, or those candidates first, the best 3 of those picked were the ones we brought in for final interviews. So I mean, I know there's a way to make it more fair, and it's not that I distrust your you know, values and how you're going to behave, but I just think it's something that is, you know, it's just a remnant that is not conducive to good governing.
And let me jump on real quick here. The portion of the charter ordinance that Larry is citing is very clear with regard to a 4-person quorum. I don't see any reason why we couldn't amend that ordinance or repeal and replace in a very short order. That would take care of half of the problem. And I don't see why we would have to wait through a summer to get that done. I think we get that done in one work session, get a charter ordinance or a draft ordinance crafted, and then have it voted on at the next meeting. You know, we could still work towards getting this appointment filled, but we need to have it scheduled to get this, at least get the solution started.
The thing about it is that it's not just about the appointment process, and it's not just about quorum. It's also about elections. And, you know, one of the things, Steve, you've mentioned the campaign a couple of times this evening, and I campaigned myself. And one of the things that I campaigned on was revisiting whether or not we should have a ward system in place. And that's not something that's going to be easily addressed
No.
in short order. And if we repeal Charter Ordinance 19, then we, you know, I'm not sure I'm not sure that we try and take it all on at once. I think, you know, if you try and do too much too quick, you're more likely to make mistakes. This is an important decision. I think we need to be judicious, and I think we need to take our time.
So if we need to take our time, let's take our time. Let's fix the problem, the impediment to good democracy, and then we can proceed with an appointment. I mean, think about this too. You have 6 people, all with an equal vote. Well, in this case, 5 people to fill a vacancy. You don't have to say why you rejected somebody. The person that everyone likes moves to the top of the list and gets voted in easily. There's no risk to the city to say that person that is brought to this governing body for approval is not fit or not qualified, because we've made that decision collectively. I mean, it is a guaranteed, risk-free decision-making process at that point. And what we have now is not at all risk-free, nor is it, you know, and like you said, we do have a crisis, or like Steve said.
Well,
Let's take our time and let's bring it to a regular meeting, let's have a special meeting, discuss it. We can involve staff and also Jim Hubbard, get some legal, you know, I mean, right now we don't have much to work with. It's a work session, but it needs to be brought to a meeting, I think.
Can I ask you about the appointment today that's out there on the table, with 3 candidates? So I guess my question is, I don't see that candidate pool really changing. So why not? I guess I'm just still perplexed as to why delay that appointment. So I feel pretty confident that it's probably going to be the same 3 people. We may get, you know, an additional 1 or 2, but
It's about the process. I mean, the
I
process is flawed.
understand. And I think everybody agrees that we should look at that, but I don't know why, I think that the mayor has done a great job in trying to make that more public. And so is the issue more with, specifically with this appointment,